Have you ever sat by the window on a quiet afternoon, wondering when the phone last rang just to say hello, not because of a doctor's appointment or a reminder, but a real, heartfelt chat? Or maybe you've looked around your living room and felt like the walls were starting to echo your silence. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know something: you're not alone. Even if it feels like you are. And more importantly, you're not stuck. Loneliness after 70 isn't a sign that something's wrong with you. It's often just a quiet side effect of life's natural shifts. Friends move away, some pass on, adult children get busy with their own families, and suddenly, the house that was once buzzing with voices feels a little too still. It's not weakness to feel it. It's human. And while we can't always control who walks in or out of our lives, we can control what we do with our time, our space, and our spirit. So today, let's talk about something different. Not how to avoid loneliness, not entirely, but how to meet it with a new kind of strength. A strength that comes from rediscovering joy in your own company. Because yes, that's still very possible. And yes, you are absolutely worth it. Let's start right here with something simple, gentle, and powerful: creating small rituals just for yourself. You see, there's something comforting about routines, but there's something magical about rituals. A morning cup of tea doesn't have to be just tea. It can be a sacred little ceremony where you light a candle, sit near the sunniest window, and take 5 minutes to simply be. No distractions. No rush. Just the warmth of the cup in your hand and the sound of the world waking up outside your window. When you do something consistently, even something small, your brain begins to associate it with safety, with pleasure, with care. And when those things are tied to you, not someone else doing it for you, your confidence grows. You begin to see that peace doesn't come from company, it can come from within. That's a mighty realization. One woman I met in a retirement group started a daily habit she calls her sunset moment. Every evening, right before dusk, she puts on a cozy sweater, makes herself a small snack, and sits outside to watch the light change. No phone, no news. Just her, the fading sun, and the quiet. She told me it's her favorite part of the day now. It gives her something to look forward to, even on the loneliest afternoons. And that brings me to something else you might try: exploring solo hobbies that don't just fill time, but lift you. Think of something you used to enjoy but maybe set aside over the years. Was it painting? Baking? Gardening? Playing music? Or maybe just listening to it more deeply? The beauty of doing something just for you is that there's no pressure to be great at it. You're not performing, you're playing. Remember that word? Play. It's not just for children. In fact, it becomes even more sacred as we age. It's a way to tap into your curiosity again. Your creativity. Your sense of delight. One gentleman I know in his late 70s started painting with watercolors for the first time during the pandemic. He said it felt silly at first. He'd never picked up a brush in his life, but then he noticed how quiet his mind became when he was painting. He wasn't thinking about what was missing. He was thinking about the shade of blue he wanted next, or the way the paint bled gently into the paper. That kind of focus, it's healing. Now, maybe you're not the artsy type. That's okay too. Joy doesn't have to be elaborate. It can live in the simplest corners of life, like organizing your favorite old photos and writing little stories next to them. Imagine turning them into a scrapbook, not for anyone else, but as a gift to yourself. To look back, smile, and remember how richly you've lived. Or maybe you're someone who loves the feeling of movement. You don't need to run marathons or bend into yoga poses like a 20-year-old to feel the benefits of a gentle walk. Go outside and feel the breeze on your face. Let your feet meet the earth. Say hello to the trees, even if they don't answer back. There's something deeply grounding about reconnecting with nature. It reminds you that you're a part of something vast and alive. And on the days when you really feel the weight of being alone, consider writing to yourself. Yes, actually writing. Get a notebook that feels good in your hands, and at the end of the day, jot down 3 things you noticed or felt. Maybe the smell of your favorite soap. The memory that popped up when you heard a certain song. The funny way the cat curled up on the couch. Journaling helps you see that your life is still unfolding, still full of detail and worth. That you are still full of stories, even if you're the only one reading them right now. Sometimes, The most joyful moments aren't loud or shared. They're quiet, personal, and deeply yours, like a whispered prayer or a soft laugh at your own joke. When you learn to cherish those moments, you begin to discover something powerful. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. And joy can live right alongside solitude if you invite it in. Let's keep going. There's more to uncover, more ways to find light in your own company. You know, one of the most beautiful things about this stage of life is the chance to stop chasing and start choosing. When you're younger, life often feels like a long to-do list: work, kids, errands, obligations. It's all go, go, go. But now, with fewer demands pulling you in different directions, you finally get the chance to ask, what do I want to do with my time? And maybe even more importantly, who do I want to be now? That's where the idea of learning something new becomes so powerful. You might be thinking, I'm too old for that, or what's the point now? But here's the truth. Your brain is still alive, still curious, still hungry for new connections. When you take on a new skill, hobby, or area of interest, it doesn't just keep your mind sharp. It gives you a reason to wake up with curiosity. Take online classes, for example. There are thousands, yes, thousands of free or low-cost courses out there on everything from history to cooking to photography to learning a new language. You don't need a fancy laptop or technical skills to start. If you can get online, you can learn. And you don't have to become a master, you just have to explore. I once met a retired nurse who picked up Spanish in her 70s. Not because she was planning to travel, but because she had always loved how the language sounded and wanted to understand the songs she used to hear as a child. She said it made her feel alive again, like she had a secret project with herself. There's something deeply joyful about learning with no pressure. No grades. No deadlines. Just you growing for the sake of growth. It reminds you that you're still evolving, and that's a gift. Another powerful shift comes when you learn how to be your own best companion. That might sound cheesy, but think about it. You've likely spent most of your life nurturing others, children, spouses, friends. You've listened, comforted, encouraged. What if you turn some of that kindness inward? Start by speaking to yourself with more warmth. When you catch yourself saying, I'm boring, or no one wants to talk to me, pause. Ask yourself, would I say that to someone I love? Of course not. So don't say it to yourself. Instead, try talking to yourself like you would to a beloved grandchild or dear friend. With patience, with gentleness, with encouragement. You are not past your prime, you are in a different season. And every season has its own kind of beauty. And while we're on the topic of beauty, don't underestimate the power of small pleasures. It's easy to overlook them when the world feels quiet. But they matter. They add color to your day. Maybe it's the feeling of fresh sheets on the bed, or the way your favorite old sweater still fits just right. Maybe it's a perfectly brewed cup of coffee, or that one movie that always makes you cry and smile at the same time. The more you slow down and notice these things, the more joy seeps into the ordinary. I know someone who started a joy jar. Every time something made her smile, no matter how small, she wrote it down on a slip of paper and dropped it in the jar. At the end of each month, she'd sit down and read them all. She said it reminded her that even on quiet days, life was still giving her gifts. They were just wrapped in simplicity. And that brings us to something else: connection. Yes, this video is about finding joy alone, but that doesn't mean shutting the world out. It means shifting your relationship with it. You may not have people coming by every day, but that doesn't mean connection isn't possible. Sometimes, the most unexpected places offer the most genuine warmth. Think about your local library, a senior center, or even the community garden. These places don't just provide services, they provide opportunity. Opportunity to say hello, to hear a new story, to share your own. Volunteering is another doorway into meaningful connection. You have something that younger generations often crave: experience. And when you offer your time, even just a little, you don't just help others. You remind yourself that you still belong, that you still matter. I remember a woman named Edna who started volunteering at a local shelter at 72. She said she was nervous at first. She hadn't been around young people in years. But after just a few weeks, they started calling her Grandma Edna, and she found herself laughing again. Laughing in a way she hadn't in years. Loneliness often convinces us that we're invisible. But the truth is, sometimes we just need to step out, gently, slowly, and remind the world that we're still here. Still valuable. Still very much ourselves. If stepping out feels like too much right now, even a smile to a stranger on your walk or a quick chat with a neighbor can be enough. Connection doesn't always require deep conversation, it just requires openness. And in those moments when the world feels far away, don't forget the connection you already have with yourself, with your memories, with the life you've lived. One powerful way to honor that is by creating something lasting, like a legacy letter. It's a simple, heartfelt letter you write, not for the world, but for your family or future generations. A way to share your values, lessons, and love in your own words. It's not about being perfect or profound. It's about being you. And in doing so, you'll find a quiet kind of joy, the kind that comes from knowing your story still matters. So here we are, gently peeling back the layers of what it means to enjoy your own company. From daily rituals to new skills, from kind self-talk to deepening small connections, it's not about fixing loneliness. It's about building a life that feels full, even when the house is quiet. Now, as we've gently walked through these ideas together, creating small rituals, learning something new, embracing simple pleasures, and even opening the door to small acts of connection, you may be feeling something stir inside. A flicker of hope. A whisper that maybe, just maybe, there's still more joy waiting to be found. And I'm here to tell you, there absolutely is. One of the most overlooked ways to discover that joy is through movement. Not the kind that requires a gym membership or fancy gear. I mean mindful, gentle movement that helps you reconnect with your own body in a loving way. When you move with awareness, even just a slow stretch in the morning or a calm walk in the evening, you send yourself a message. I am still here and I am worth caring for. It's not about getting in shape. It's about getting in touch. Your body may not move the way it used to, but it still holds you, still carries you, still responds to care. Try putting on your favorite music from your younger years and swaying to the rhythm, even if it's just while sitting in a chair. That little movement has a way of waking something up inside, something soft and joyful and alive. And while your body moves, let your mind wander to what brings you meaning. You see, the older we get, the more we realize that joy isn't just about being entertained. It's about feeling like our days still have purpose, that we matter, that what we do, think, and feel still contributes to something bigger than ourselves. Sometimes, that sense of purpose comes from simply caring for a living thing. A houseplant, a bird feeder, or a pet. There's a quiet beauty in nurturing something, even if it doesn't speak back. It gives your hands something to do, your heart something to hold. That daily act of care, watering the soil, refilling the seed dish, brushing a dog's coat, it anchors your day with quiet meaning. One gentleman I spoke with adopted a senior cat from a shelter. He said, "She's slow, just like me. But we keep each other company." That's it. Nothing grand. No speeches. Just presence. And presence is sometimes all we need. But what if you don't have a pet, or you're not much of a gardener? That's okay too. You can still pour your care into small creative projects that reflect your spirit. Writing letters to old friends, even if you're not sure they'll reply. Knitting a scarf for donation. Recording stories into a voice memo app for your grandchildren to hear one day. These quiet acts of giving keep your days from folding into one another. They remind you that your time still has shape and your hands still have purpose. And when the day winds down, and the house is quiet again, here's something powerful you can do: practice gratitude. I don't mean the kind where you force yourself to feel thankful for things that aren't working. I mean the gentle kind. The kind where you look around and say, "Today, I'm grateful for the sunlight that warmed the kitchen tiles. For the call that came, even if it was short. For the memory that made me smile." 3 small things. Every evening. It might feel silly at first, especially if the day felt lonely. But over time, it changes the lens through which you see your life. You begin to realize that even in solitude, even in stillness, there's beauty worth noticing. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about honoring what is. And here's the truth I want you to carry with you. Joy doesn't always arrive with a grand entrance. Tiptoes in often unannounced. It's in the way the morning breeze smells, the feel of a warm blanket across your legs, the way your own laughter surprises you sometimes. It doesn't need applause. It just needs attention. So if you're feeling lonely after 70, please don't believe the lie that this is all there is. Don't believe that happiness belongs to the young or that love only comes from others. You are still capable of joy, still worthy of connection, still rich with time and choice. Not everything is behind you. Some of the sweetest moments are still ahead, quiet, perhaps, but full of light. Let yourself enjoy your own company. Not because you've given up on companionship, but because you've finally remembered that you are already whole. You've lived, loved, lost, and grown, and now you get to return to yourself with a deeper kind of wisdom. And if the days get tough, because yes, some will, come back to these little steps. Light that candle. Brew your tea. Take your walk. Smile at a stranger. Sing to your plant. Write your story. Watch the sunset. Remind yourself, I am here and I matter. You have so much life left, not just to survive, but to savor. And your presence in this world, even in the quietest corners, makes it better. So if this video spoke to something in your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. What brings you joy these days? Even one small moment is worth celebrating. And if you found this helpful, give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more gentle, uplifting content made especially for you. Here's to living with meaning even in solitude. Here's to waking up to your own wonderful company. And most of all, here's to living your best life at any age.